Shop the Sherwin-Williams Super Sale and get 40% off paints and stains September 19th through the 24th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Where is he?
Where are you? Skull Rock. Do you know it?
Hello, this is Stacy over at the Skull Rock broadcast. I am joined by...
Hello, this is Megan. Welcome back to our Stranger Things podcast. And we have a really, really fun episode planned for today. We've been excited for this for a while, and we have someone joining us today. So welcome back to the podcast, Brandy.
Thank you. Hi, friends.
Hi, Brandy.
We're excited to have you. And this was a great idea that Stacey and Brandy had to talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Is that what you would call them? Like, I want to make sure I'm getting the terminology correct.
Yeah, you got it.
The Elm Street movies.
You got the right street, baby. You were good. Which we were dying. So over the weekend, Megan and I, we watched 1 through 3 over the phone, and clearly these films were shot in Los Angeles. You see fucking palm trees, and part 2 of the desert, and I kept going, this is supposed to be Ohio. And she's like, you're shitting me. And I'm like, yep, that's Ohio. And it's just showing the vast
they're in the fucking desert with Joshua trees. This is not Ohio.
That killed me. I was like, that's your review. But
yeah, I had never seen these movies, so
which
obviously
blows my mind.
Well, I don't watch horror movies, so yeah,
that's true.
But I'm really, really glad I did, because I had a great time, and I think that there's so many connections to Stranger Things that that it was wild to see. So just it kind of makes. I think when we continue watching season 4, it's going to be even cooler to notice all of those things that were connected and kind of inspired by this movie franchise. So that was really fun for me.
Yeah. And you got the Stacy commentary special.
I did. Yeah. I was like, well, I don't think they were really that scary, but I guess it's different watching them in your late 30s with someone joking about and telling me all the behind the scenes
oh yeah,
it was the best commentary ever. I feel like people could pay a lot of money for that Stacey Still commentary.
Brandy, I was not to jump too far ahead, but we watched part 3 last night, and it's the scene where Nancy and Neil are at the Thai restaurant, and she's like, I used to be like them, Neil, prescribe the Hypnocel, and he's like, I'm sorry, Nancy, no. And I'm like, Megan, you know what I would have done? I would have ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, taken one bite and gone, I'm stuffed, and that's it. And literally, Megan's like, uh-huh. And then, I felt the need, and I'm going to say this on the podcast because I don't care. So I'm cackling watching part 3. We were cackling throughout all of them, but we're watching part 3, and it got to the worm scene, which we will talk about because there is a huge connection to Stranger Things in that scene. And I'm trying to tell her about how in the documentary that you mentioned before we started recording, Never Sleep Again, they talked about how they made this Freddy worm and it looked like a dick. And they were like, this is too phallic looking. We got to cover it in green slime. I'm laughing so hard, I tooted. She didn't hear it. She did not hear it.
I didn't hear it.
I went, did you hear that? Because I'm a child. And she goes, what? And I go, I fucking farted. And she goes, I didn't hear you, Stace. And I'm like, look at the snake. It's like a dick, but it's covered in green slime. And she's like, okay, I got it, Stace. So that's kind of what she had in her ear the entire time. But way, 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 way back when we, kind of bonded over this, show. I remember you, Brandy, you're probably a bigger Elm Street fan than I am. You have a gorgeous tattoo of the character of Nancy from part 3. Right away, you and I, we originally knew each other from the VHS and horror community. And I remember you were always a big Elm Street girly. And after watching season 4, you right away were like, yeah, there's a ton of connections, Stacey,
Yeah,
left
there's a
and
lot.
right. And at first I was like, I kind of see what you mean. And then during the summer of 2022, the Duffer Brothers, they had this double feature of The Piggyback, which is the length of a movie, along with Part 3 Dream Warriors.
That must have been wild.
I would have
So
paid
jealous,
big
like
money.
I didn't get to go to that. If you got to go to that, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. At the
must
New
have been rad.
Beverly Theater, and
Yeah.
just so fitting. But the more that, I noticed, like, in passing, whenever we'd have conversations about it, this is how you and I kind of brainstormed this episode. We were like, when we eventually do coverage for season 4, we have to do an Elm Street episode, because there are wild connections throughout the film series that connect to the seasons of Stranger Things. So we're going to kind of like start off with the original 1984 Wes Craven Nightmare on Elm Street and some of the connections that we've noticed.
Perfect.
We had an ongoing joke about Alani. We kept going instead of a coffee pot.
Oh,
We're-
yeah.
We're like, she's got her Costco case of Alani, and she's just ripping them.
I'm addicted to them. I'm obsessed.
It's Rachel's fault. She got us
It is
all
her-
on the Alani.
But I thank her. They're so much
Yeah.
better than coffee.
And
I
they're
know,
better
but-
than a Red Bull.
They are
Yeah.
much better.
So much better. I've never been like an energy drink person at all, but I still like want to drink coffee, and then I'll end up like having both. And
Having
that's
an Alani.
not a good idea.
No.
Yeah, and
It's a bad
then you're
idea.
like, why do I feel so jazzed? But I remember Shane, my tattoo artist, it was like the first night that season 4 premiered. He sent me a picture of the character of Rod from part 1, and then a picture of Eddie, and he went, this is basically the same character. Ding, ding, ding. We have
But
a winner.
even more so had the same purpose.
Yeah.
He had to be a
Being the
patsy, a
scapegoat.
scapegoat.
Yeah. But it was interesting because I feel like Stacey was just too, focused on telling jokes and behind the scenes facts that I was noticing a lot
doesn't
of
sound
like
like her at
Stranger
all.
Things
No,
connections.
that's not Stacey.
No.
She kept bringing stuff up, and I kept forgetting that's the whole reason why we're watching it. So I'm like, oh, good connection. Look at you. And then I crack another joke.
Yeah, but I'm not going to promise that I can remember all of them because I didn't want to take notes. I just wanted to like be there for the vibes. So we'll see how much I remember as we're like going through the episode, but it'll be fun.
If you think about it, Tina, her death is very similar to Chrissy's. Would we agree?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's we're in the first movie, right?
Yes.
We're in the first movie, like blonde pretty girl, dies on the ceiling in a very graphic way, falls from ceiling, and there is a teenage boy who's kind of like the outcast who wears a leather jacket, the musician type, who witnesses it, and what does he do? He panics,
He runs.
and he runs away.
And he's taking the blame for that said murder truly just per proximity.
Yep.
Just for him being there. And then they go on this whole thing about how the door was locked from his side and no one
Yep.
else could get in. And
Don't you look at me like I'm some kind of fucking fruitcake. I'm warning you. Yep. Which Johnny Depp, first of all, right away, Megan went, oh, Nancy Thompson and Nancy Wheeler, they're very similar. They kind of dress the
Yes.
same in the pastels.
they're the same person. The crazy big hair, the curls, all of it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I was at first ragging on the living
Pink
room.
sweater
Tina's living
vests.
room. Yes.
The
Yes,
pink
they-
sweater vests.
They dress the same. Very
yes,
similar.
they do.
I was ragging on Tina's like living room. I was like, look how fucking ugly it was. And then like I took a second and Megan went, Stacey, you would love this living room. Look at that couch.
Yes, you
I-
would.
I went, oh my God. I go, I actually love this living room. Look at the vibes. That couch. Where do I get that couch? But Steve, I think, was a perfect combination of Steve Harrington. You're a jock. You probably have a baseball bat. And
Yep.
a little bit of Jonathan, like kind of mixed together, would you guys say?
Glenn, you said Steve,
Glenn.
but yes, Glenn.
Yes.
Got Steve on the mind.
Well,
Yeah.
he was just meant to be, pretty for sure.
Oh,
But like the big hair
Yeah.
for both of them, it's almost a mirror image to me.
Yeah. He was very Steve coded. The only time I feel like that we kind of got more Jonathan vibes was when they were like on the bridge and he was showing her that book like about dreams or something, or
Yes,
he
and
was
consoling her.
yeah, like trying to kind of like rationalize it. Maybe he didn't have a book. Maybe she had a book.
She had the book about booby traps and like survival, and he's meanwhile eating a cheeseburger. She hasn't slept in 7 days, and he's like, "Oh, dream skills. They get all their art and literature."
Yeah.
I would be like, "There is a man that is literally after me." Like, oh my! I'd be like, "Look at my hair, bitch. It's gray." I'd be like, "How does this help me?" But he's so pretty looking, and he's so charming.
And she just smiles up at him and says, "I'm into survival." That's probably what I
Yeah.
would do if I could talk.
Right?
Yeah.
Looking up at him.
That information that
true.
he gave her, though, was kind of what ended up like
Oh, yeah.
saving her.
You turn your
Like,
back on it.
yeah, which was pretty cool.
But definitely the small town. Hawkins is a small town. Springwood is a small town. And I think the biggest thing, and we noticed this, not to jump too far ahead, but there's a house, a dilapidated house with a
Yes.
history behind it.
Yes.
1428 Elm Street, the Creel house.
Yep, that was a big one for sure.
Glenn's headphones, obviously, with Max. She's got her headphones on, which, Brandy, do you love my Snoopy headphones?
Adorable.
One of my favorite sequences in part one, and like they were on a shoestring budget, you know?
Absolutely.
And-
I mean, wasn't Roger Corman involved to a certain extent?
I think originally, and I was telling Megan that,
He makes
Freddie
his
was-
movies for 27 cents.
oh yeah, and then he's like, that's why I always love in The Howling. There's a cameo by Roger Corman. He was this big film guy, and he was always known as making like B movies. And you see him go in the
Very cheaply.
like phone booth, and you see him look for the change because he was always pinching pennies. But no, literally, like Robert Shea, who was the head of New Line, who always said Freddie is the house that Freddie built. And that he saved New Line because New Line at the time was
Mhm.
kind
And
of
now
like
they're
failing.
huge, which is amusing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
They
And
were
it was
nothing then.
this
That's
little
crazy.
independent movie. And Wes Craven, like I said, he had made Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes.
Ugh, that movie.
And the last few movies he had made weren't really like jumping off the screen or anything. So then he did Freddie. And, he made a few really great movies after that. But he will forever be known as the man who created A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I told Megan the whole history about the story that inspired him.
Which
And
is terrifying in itself.
like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, which, how long have you guys ever stayed up?
Well,
Probably like 36 hours.
if you include party favors,
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
probably 36 hours.
Yeah, I've stayed up
Yeah.
like 36 hours like traveling before. Because like you're on a overnight flight, but you can't really sleep, so it's like you end
Mhm.
up like up for that long. And then I
Wow.
like got to London and slept for 18 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, the come down was a whole other. I probably slept for a 36.
Yeah.
You feel like a train has hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. That was Stacey and I's joke the whole time, was just like laughing at them like trying to stay awake and like the different things that they did to try to stay awake.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I'll never forget. There was a weekend. I have really bad insomnia sometimes, and I go on kicks. The longest I've ever gone is 4 days. And by the end of those 4 days, like, I think my body was shutting down. They say, like, it's really bad. But I
think
remember,
you can
like,
die if you stay awake for that long.
yeah, like, you're
Really
not
bad
even
is an understatement.
You're not even supposed to
It's
operate
horrible
a
for you.
car. Like, it's bad. I remember, like, I went up to my sister's because I'm like, she'll give me a martini. That'll make me pass out. And it didn't make me pass out. And then I just remember, like, I finally bought, like, all the ZzzQuil. And I just literally just took it all and I passed out. But, like, after a while, like, you're not even thinking straight.
No.
So the
you
fact that
can't.
Nancy is like, it's coming up on the 7th day, I would be so irritable, but I was dying laughing. And my favorite sequence, and this is why I love like shoestring budget, like horror, they had such great imaginations, the bathtub scene. Where literally, first of all, I was like, I shower. I don't really take a bath. But I was so fixated on how she snaps at her mom, which we get it. You haven't been sleeping. You watched your best friend get
Why are you
murdered.
coming in there? I'm in here. I'm busy. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And you're bringing warm milk?
Warm milk.
I agree.
I hated that
her
mom.
too.
Like,
I was dying. I said, this is why I'm not meant to have children, because I would barge into that room after she's like, what, mother? And you know that little like pillow thing she has? I would snatch it.
Which is like a floaty.
And just look at her, and I'd walk back out because I'm like, I would gaslight her. I'd be like, oh, well, now you don't have a pillow now, bitch. Now you can't be comfortable. But literally when we were watching it, right away, Megan went, when she gets pulled down the drain, she went, this is like Heather in season 3. And it's a little like Steve in The Dive getting pulled under.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you pointed out that like the practical effect with like the spandex and like the wall and everything, like I feel like that was there was a little bit of that in season 1 with like the Demogorgon like pushing through the wall.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that was kind of a connection too.
Because isn't it when Holly comes in, right? And she's like,
yeah,
she's
in
here.
the room with all the lamps and like something's kind of like pushing on the wall there. I also thought the basement was kind of like Driscoll's basement in season 3. I mean, it was just like a typical basement, but it gave like those vibes.
You'll love this too. So you know when Tina's in the body bag, which
Oh God, that part was disgusting.
so gross, but it's when she asks Glenn, "Can you keep watch for me? I'm gonna go look for somebody," and it just shows all the like the eels and stuff, and I just go, "That looks like shit." Yet again, cracking jokes, and she goes, "That's very upside down coated. That's like vines in the upside down."
Right.
I go, "Oh,
Right.
I thought it looks like poo. Sorry."
Stacey's like, oh.
Oh, I forgot. That's why we're watching
Oh.
these. Whoops. But I
Yeah,
kept
because
saying,
it wasn't coming out of her mouth and stuff too.
Yeah,
Yes.
centipede.
Some
Yeah.
did, yes.
Which was kind of like the thing coming out of Will, like,
Yes.
Oh, see?
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, that's poo from a butt.
And
she's like,
Barb. And Barb in the upside down, I
Right.
think, had stuff like in her mouth and stuff. Yeah. Gross.
Fucking Barb. But no, like part 1, I would say is one of the most visual, like horror movies of all time. And Stranger Things has so many visual iconic scenes that, you know, there's like, especially when them rigging up the like traps for the Demogorgon and at the end of the last episode.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that too when she's setting all of the booby traps and stuff. Like, we have talked about how it's kind of like Home Alone, but I guess like Home Alone could have been inspired by this, is what we were saying.
Yeah, because Home Alone is after.
Yeah. This was
movie.
way before that.
Could you imagine
Yes.
setting those traps up? It's going on literally a week since you've slept. Your hot
You
boyfriend
would
just
set
got
yourself
killed.
on fire, Stacey.
Oh, me! Thank you. Literally, me.
You wouldn't have to fall
screwing
asleep.
Screwing the fucking light bulb. Yeah, that's me. Actually, well rested. I just set my house on fire. Which you should have seen me right away. I'm like, look at her trying to go up the stairs. That's probably, even though the effect kind of looks a little hokey when she's going through the biscuit.
But that's what I like about it.
Because that's how you feel in a dream.
That's what I
can't
like about it.
move.
Yeah. And
It's not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect.
Right. I
Yeah.
appreciated that about it too. Like, it wasn't super realistic, but like that was the point. Like,
It's a dream, so obviously it's not supposed to really
There's a
be
little more
realistic.
attitude there. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a film that because it's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's not a
the
movie
first
that
one is,
the
or like
first
the
one.
whole
Yeah.
First one.
I mean, I love them all, obviously, but the first being the best, in my opinion.
Do you know that they edited out? I meant to see if you noticed this, Brandy, because I used to listen to the audio commentary. When he gets the sledgehammer to the stomach, Freddy, and then he falls over the balcony down the stairs, you used to be able to see the mattress he falls on. But now that it's digitally remastered, they zoomed in a little bit that it's out of frame, the mattress.
Oh, well, I have the old ones.
So you can see the mattress?
Yeah, well, I have it
Love
several different ways on VHS and then DVD as well.
You would have been so ashamed of me. I literally
Yeah,
went,
that's what
Megan,
Stacey was saying.
I go, I own this on VHS like 7 times over, DVD, Blu-ray, and I go, and I
Guess how
just
we
rented-
watched it.
We rented it on fucking Amazon for $3, and I'm like, I'm a piece of shit. Well,
Well,
like,
do you
I should-
have a DVD player or a VHS player currently?
not a VHS player
Yeah.
upstairs. And I wasn't gonna watch that downstairs. She's spooky.
Right. Yeah.
But I have a DVD player, and all I had to do was plug it in. But instead, I was like, Amazon, like,
I can't
Idiot.
find the remote for my DVD player, so it's kind of like I can't. It's not super functional.
But get them while you can because digital media is dying.
Well, I feel like we haven't pointed out like the most like obvious, like blatant connection to season 4 of Stranger Things, which is Robert Englund.
Right.
and I was
They're
telling
paying
her
homage, which they should.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
did.
He's
And
fabulous.
Robert Englund, what I love about it, because I told her, Brandy, about how in part 2, they're like, we don't want to meet his salary demand. We'll just get a stuntman. And I think the only scene he's used in is the shower scene when he kills the gym teacher. But they were like, he was walking like Frankenstein. There was no like, it just looked like a hulking monster. And they were like, oh, we fucked up bad. Let's get Robert back. And the beautiful
Good
thing
for
about
him.
Robert Englund, he had been in like the movie
pay him what he's earned.
Yeah.
like he's this classically trained like Shakespearean actor who did a lot of stage work, and he had been in like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Stay Hungry,
And
he'd
that
done
show V.
Yep, remember he's the alien.
I read
Oh,
his
so good.
autobiography, and it's a really
It's
good
fabulous,
read if
I
you guys
bet.
are ever interested.
I love Robert Englund.
He was a surfer, actually. He was like a surfer.
I see that. I
Yeah.
totally see that, and he's like
I could see
he's-
Freddie on a surfboard.
Yeah.
Freddie
Didn't
on a
they-
surfboard.
Was it part 4 or part 5 where he gets Tuesday night at the beach? It's 4.
And he puts the Ray-Bans on. He cackles
Yes.
up in the sky. He's
Yeah.
on the beach. It's great. But what I love about him is he basically, so I guess he ran into Robert Picardo, who I have tattooed on my arm, who's the villain from The Howling. And I guess they were both stage actors. And he was like, oh, I just did this low-budget movie. And I kind of took a little inspiration from Eddie Quist, the character that Robert played. And he goes, and I kind of did my own spin on it. And he's like, oh, I'll definitely look for it. And that ended up being A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I love that Robert Englund was like, this is my meal ticket. I am not above this whatsoever. I am going to ham it the fuck up. I'm going to
Absolutely.
do television appearances. In like the 1980s, especially after part 2, the merchandise in the Freddy Mania was the biggest it's ever
The
been.
TV show. It was
The TV show.
everywhere.
And
That's
I
cool.
just love that, like, I got to tell you, Megan, if you ever get the chance to meet Robert, I've met him
Do
several
it.
times.
He's
I know you met
fabulous.
him. He will give you your money's worth. He's a talker, and he
Very
directed,
personable.
very sweet, very kind, will take his time with you. Like,
Yes.
probably the opposite of Freddy Krueger. But I remember the second or third time I met him, he directed a movie in 1988 called 976 Evil. It's with Robert Picardo, and it's hokey, but in the best way possible. It's
Oh,
Is
so
that
80s.
Stephen Jeffrey, too, from Fright
Stephen
Night?
Jeffrey from Fright Night. They mentioned it in Video
yeah,
Heaven.
yeah. You
And-
told me about it when we watched that movie together.
It's so much fun.
It's all over the place.
It's so all over the place. It's like about you call like a hotline, but it's like
Yes.
connected to hell, and it's like possesses you. And he directed it, and it actually has a sequel, which isn't
does.
bad. And it's hokey as shit, but there's this great sequence where these two girlfriends are arguing. One wants to watch It's a Wonderful Life. One wants to watch Night of the Living Dead. And they literally mash the two movies together. So it's like George Bailey at Christmas, but they're zombies. And it was made in the 90s. And I asked him, I said, what are your thoughts on 976 Evil 2? And you can tell this man just has such a love for film and movies. He like gushed about it. He was like, oh, I love that they did that. Ba, 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 ba. So I love that he was casted in Stranger Things as Victor Creel. You know, the man is super used to, like, he used to sit for hours in the makeup chair.
In that makeup chair, which I imagine was grueling.
Like, they got to the point that they changed the design. Like, they did, like, the prosthetics a little more simple for part 5 and 6, but they changed his look completely in part 7. But we were, like, pointing out with part 2, he looks more of a witch because Kevin Yeagar did the makeup. But this man just was able, he would say, like, oh, I'd meditate, or I would, like, shoot the shit with the effects guys and stuff.
There's
So-
like famous pictures of him like smoking in the chair with like half his makeup
Just hanging out.
on. Yeah.
You know?
Which
So
is
I-
very like Vecna coded.
Thank
too.
you.
Like I
Yes,
think
with the
especially
Starbucks.
in the third one. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, the
Jamie drinking
Starbucks.
his Starbucks. But I feel like especially in the third one, he looked very much like Vecna, like when you could see all of his burns and stuff. Like, and I think just like he was good in the first movie, but I feel like he wasn't as like animated as
No,
he
he wasn't.
gets.
And
He
that
was
was
in the shadows a
intentional.
lot,
That was
too.
intentional. There wasn't as much character development, and then that movie was supposed to go a completely different route. But because of something that happened in the media and like a tragedy happened, Freddie was originally supposed to be a pedophile.
Oh yeah, Stacey, you
And-
told me that too.
Yeah,
Yes,
they tweaked
and
that.
Something happened in the media, and they just got rid of that element of it due to timing and just thought it would be too like uber sensitive. So by the time the third one comes out, it's Freddie Mania. 2 had bombed.
Did not do well.
Yeah.
Who would have
and-
thought?
Right. They're basic. But as the series goes on, they really and Freddie becomes as immensely culturally popular as he becomes, they start to kind of make jokes and make light of the fact that this was supposed to be scary. This wasn't supposed to become like this icon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that you see that in his movements. And you see that and in part 3 he's making jokes. You know,
Yeah.
his kills become comic.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
little
So that's that
antennas
kind
on
of
his
that
head.
progression.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I was telling her about part 6. I was like, we're never going to watch part 6.
Oh,
I
part
said,
6.
but him is the Wicked Witch of the West. And I said, there's this famous meme where they're like, part 1 is this psychological, like, you know, view of the psyche of your
Right.
inner fears and this and that. And then it goes, part 6, we're going to make Freddie a witch. And it's him going, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too. It's so bad. But, you know, I always said that, like, part 1 is the classic. Part 2 is the gay one.
The gay
three-
one, fair.
Fair. It was so funny right away. I went, you want to watch part 2? And she goes, yeah. And I go, it's really gay. And I say that with all the love of my heart. It's
Yes,
a pride
yes.
movie. And she
I
It
goes,
is
love
a pride
it.
movie.
That made me
Absolutely.
wanna
That
watch it
whole
even
dancing
more.
scene.
him, I told her, I said, if my crush walked in on me and I was doing that dance, I'd kill myself and then kill them. Like, literally, I'd be like, oh my God.
If the Duffers are listening, I know that you're done filming, but you can do callbacks, right? Feel free to add a scene of Steve dancing with a pogo stick in a
Yes.
room to some 80s song.
Rustine.
Give us all what we want.
Give the people what
Give
they
it to us,
want.
please.
Listening in sweat, waking up in his underwear.
Oh, yes.
Which I said when Lisa comes over, the Meryl Streep lookalike, which her earrings throughout that whole movie, this is like, I've seen this movie a million times. And I'm like, damn. And then like I was telling Megan, I go, you can tell they have money because they have a cordless phone and a pool. But that pool party,
That was
she could not get
intense.
over. First of all, she goes, the body count's a little low in this movie. And I go, yeah. And then I remembered the pool party and I went, never mind.
He literally boils them like hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's getting out of the pool. And like, I know they probably like smoked some ganja because guess what? The little wagon full of like 18 beers wasn't probably getting anybody drunk. But literally, I'm like, there's smoke coming out of the pool. I would be the first to go, is this pool heated? And then it's boiling and they're all like, what do we do? And I'm like,
Get out of the pool.
there's that poor son of a bitch who gets trampled when everyone panics and is trying to like,
Oh yeah, that was
Who
that was
invites
pretty
over
bad.
47 teenagers to their house? Like, what? Why did their parents think they could handle this?
I love that as soon as they shut the lights off, they're like, party time. And I'm like, yep, because they instantly knocked out immediately.
Yeah.
And it always bothers me, they never cut the cake.
Oh yeah.
Stacy.
They didn't get to eat the
They
cake,
had
which was
bigger problems.
unfortunate.
I
Okay.
literally said I would have run from Freddie in that house and I would have picked up the cake and I would have ran outside with it.
I cannot.
But
I
yeah,
said the second one was kind of like season 3 sort of, because it
It
was
was
like
very summery.
colorful, summery, like, even though I don't know where, like you said, they were supposed to be in fucking Ohio and it's like
Okay.
obviously California. But like
Okay.
what month was it supposed to be that they're having like a pool party? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but it just like was definitely a lot brighter like than the first one, so that was kind of like what reminded me of like that transition from the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things to like those brighter colors of season 3 of
You know what I
Stranger
just
Things.
thought of? They read Nancy's diary.
They do.
What do they do?
It's my favorite part of 2.
They read
They find
Nancy's
her diary.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
wish they
God.
had gone into that more.
Yeah.
I made that connection too, but I don't think I said it out loud.
I
when
was
we were
probably
watching
cracking
it.
a joke.
Yeah, you probably were.
Me, I'm like, now he's got to go. First of all, when they bring him home and the cops, and they're like, he was wandering down the highway naked, I'd keep a short leash on him. And I love that he's like, I just want to get to bed. And I'm like, time out. I'd be like, where are you getting the drugs, son? And can you share them? And then and the parakeets that blow up.
I know.
Oh, I hated that. That was so gross. But it made me think of what movie did it make me think of? Poltergeist.
Yeah, you said first. She goes, "What's the movie with the dead bird?" I go, "Dumb and Dumber." And she goes, like you could just
No.
hear on the other
No.
line her sigh, and she went, "No, Stacy, the other movie." And I go, "Oh, Poltergeist." I love that the dad's like, it was the cheap seed, which that dad was very Ted Wheeler coded.
Like, by what, Matt?
That dad was Ted Wheeler. Like that was
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In his recliner, being
yeah,
like, it's
literally
the cheap
in
bird
his
seed.
recliner. He was an asshole. Even I have like a soft spot for Ted Wheeler. I had no sympathy for that dad. I hated him.
Yeah.
Like I hated most of the parents in these movies. Like,
Well, they're like, so I explained to her how there was a deleted scene and how in part 1 they're all like, oh, well, psych, you all had siblings. And they were all killed by Freddy.
yeah.
Which kind of explains better. But I don't know, Brandy, you're like the biggest Elm Street fan I know. I literally told her, I was like, we get a few flashbacks and like part 6 and, Freddy versus Jason. But I wish there had been, and we're not counting the, pilot of the TV show. I wish there had been a prequel in the 70s because, I mean, none of us are parents, but like if somebody murdered my Quinn, I would literally torch the fucker. So like, I want to see a movie about that.
They play fast and loose with some of the details
Yeah, they do.
in the latter movies. I think it's 6 where, he has a daughter and the drawings, and they kind of go over I guess he had a wife.
Yeah, apparently.
Briefly kind of in those flashbacks, and then them following him back to his boiler room.
And then you see
So-
the dream like demons, which look like sea
Dogs.
monkeys. Yeah. They're like, oh, and that's when in 3D, Megan, it's so goddamn bad because they're like,
Oh God, I hate 3D movies.
it's so bad. Oh my God. And they're like, it's so hokey. And it's Billy Zane's sister, Lisa Zane.
Yeah.
And she's his adult daughter. And she sticks
looks just like
dynamite.
him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah,
like a female
is.
Billy Zane
Yeah,
fighting
with a wig.
Freddy. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But yeah, part 2, I like, not to get into the like Will stuff, but Will is in the closet. Jesse, clearly, I mean, I think a lot of that movie was symbolism for
Like him
homosexuality.
screaming, he's inside me. Andy screams that all the time.
Good. Bye. And then
It's
the
my
second
favorite part of the movie.
the scream that he lets out, I like warned Megan ahead of time. I'm like, get ready for this scream. It is a shriek. It is like what I sound like when I see a spider. Like, God bless Mark Patton because he did a hell of a job playing Jesse.
yeah.
And
I want to
it was
look up.
He really did.
Jesse and what's
Grady.
I want to read
Grady.
Jesse and Grady fan fiction. That's
Robert
like,
Russler. Love you, babe.
There's a scene in part 2 where Jesse and Freddy are by like the stairwell, like the
Yep.
banister, and I guess Freddy's taunting him.
yeah.
And he flicks his glove out, and it goes in Mark Patton's mouth, and Robert Englund tells the story in Never Sleep Again that I guess it was the director or someone came running up and was like, stop doing that. Don't do that. You know what that looks like? You know what I mean? And like they had to and Robert was like, why? leave it in
I
there.
think that works.
Yeah.
That works for the theme of this movie.
The devil dogs killed me right away. Megan
Was that
goes,
in part 2?
yeah, Megan
Yeah,
goes,
they were
what was the
awful.
point to that? And I'm like, I don't know. They had extra money in the budget. And they were like, we're going to do these dogs with baby faces on them. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But it did look like the ending sequence in that factory looked like Brimborn Steelworks.
Yep. Made
Yeah,
that connection too. There were rats. I think there were rats in that
There
one
were,
too.
There were a lot of rats.
Yeah.
A lot of rats, man.
Because I was telling Stacey how I wanted a pet rat.
No. Moving on to part 3, Dream Warriors.
I
This
think it was my favorite.
It definitely, Wes Craven came back to write it. So
Correct.
I think
Because
and the
part
fact-
two was just
part
Yeah, part
2
2 didn't have much of a plot.
they were like, if
Yeah.
we're gonna save this franchise, we have to bring Wes back.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, in Family Video, when Max and Dustin come and they're, like, seeking help by Steve and Robin, there is a standee of Freddy's Revenge, that's part 2, behind Max. So that's pretty cool because it was such a big movie. But part 3, I felt like they were like, okay, well, we fucked up bad. Freddy's really popular and he's going to make money, but we got to get a little darker and a little more serious with the screenplay. And I was telling Megan, I said, his best deaths are part 3 and 4. Those were the most final ones. And it was very like something about, what was it called? Western Hills, the asylum
Yes,
where it
Weston
takes
Hills.
place. It reminded me of Penhurst a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just Patricia Arquette eating her coffee crystals.
Oh, yeah. Alani Crystals.
She was excellent in that movie.
She was great, and I feel like I got a lot more invested in all of the characters in that movie.
Yes.
Like, the characters, Nancy was good and Glenn in the first movie, but that was pretty much all that's all.
Rooting for.
Yeah, that's all you're rooting for. You don't really care about the parents, and there really isn't as many characters. But like in part 3, there were so many characters that you really kind of like invested in, and all of those kids were like strong, like personality wise, and you cared about like what was going to happen to all of them. And so there was more like heartbreak a little bit when deaths did happen, because in the first movie, you didn't know Tina when she died. Like, the only heartbreaking death was Glenn, I think. So,
What were we saying about part 1 when it shows the ambulance back up? Megan just goes, there ain't nothing in that ambulance. And I go, no,
The guy
just a
brings
bunch
out a
of,
bucket.
bunch of buckets sloshing over. But no, I agree. And part 3 had a lot of heart to it, which I feel like that's why you care so much about these characters in Stranger Things. They're well written. They're well-rounded, well-written. And these poor teenagers are all going through this. And Nancy, who is like the youngest, grad student of all time, the whole
She's
time
like 24.
She's 24. The whole time I kept going like, look at Lawrence Fishburne. He's my boyfriend. He's my orderly boyfriend.
he looked so good in that movie.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, so cute. But I like that she right away is like, I used to be like them. And it was this whole thing about like how Freddy is making them look like they're committing suicide. And, there's a lot of stuff about mental health with season 4 and symbolism for suicide and whatnot, trauma, PTSD, and survival guilt. So I felt like, right away I was ragging on all their dream powers. I was like, you can do gymnastics, you can bend a chair, you're a wizard.
It made for
And-
some impressive fights at the end,
Well,
though.
She pissed herself at the I'm beautiful and bad. I'd be like, that's not even a power. Like, I'd be like, Freddy, come and fucking get us. We're dead. This ain't the X-Men. But what I liked about it was, like you said, Will.
There's literally a wizard named Will.
Yeah, that's what
How
I said.
crazy is that? And I love that you could tell they didn't have the licensing for Dungeons and Dragons, so they're like playing a knockoff game of it. And I'm like, you're playing the Dungeons and Dragons game with Joey, who is the selective mute, Will the Wizard Master. I'm like, this looks like hell on earth. Like, and I love that they're the only ones that witness poor Philip about to like puppeteer his ass off the roof. That was unfortunate. Which also the security on that ward,
Yeah,
What the
not
fuck?
great.
not
I mean,
great.
There's some pretty bad security at the hospital in Stranger Things, too. So
I'm Cinderella. You lost your shoe. But I do like that Kirsten, Patricia Arquette, she goes into now the dilapidated 1428 Elm Street, which is like the Creel house.
Yes.
And I always think of Chrissy not only with all the boards over the windows and doors, but the rotting, stinking food.
That was
Correct.
obviously
That's big in
borrowed from
Freddy.
this
A lot of
movie.
times you'll
Yeah.
see that. You'll see rotting whole pigs with apples in their mouths. All of that. You know.
Yeah.
In season 3 of Stranger Things, there's this like meet the lifeguards, and there's Heather, of course, and the actress who played Nancy, her name is Heather Langenkamp, which I always thought was cool. And then there's a lifeguard named Freddie. So cool.
And Fred in season 4.
Oh yeah, remember
Which
I thought his
you
name was
brought
like
up.
George. I was like,
Yeah.
George. Who the fuck is George?
Yes. So there's a mirror image scene, and I believe it's season 3, where Mrs. Wheeler is talking to Nancy, and they're like, I think they're in their kitchen, and she basically is telling her, like, they're having like a heart to heart.
Yeah,
And
I
she
love that scene.
Yeah, she basically tells her like, this is what you do. You don't let things go.
You
Like
face
you don't let,
things.
You don't let people beat you. And in Nightmare on Elm Street 1, there is a parallel scene of Nancy's mom telling her, "This is your gift. You face things. You don't run." And it's almost the same exact scene.
Isn't that crazy? When she tucks her
Yeah.
in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Stacey, when we were watching season 3, you pointed out that the red door at Heather's family's house is similar, and
Yeah.
it was an interesting scene when they
that would make
opened
sense.
they opened the
Yeah.
door and it's raining when they bring him back and he's like naked or whatever, and they have these yellow raincoats on, which is like similar to like Max and Elle's raincoats, and it's like raining when Billy opens the door at Heather's house. So yeah, that was interesting.
Did you notice during the snake scene when, I wasn't
The you.
tooting from laughing? The you.
I
It's
noticed that. I mean, the
so
minute I
good.
watched the very first time, I was like, yeah.
So good. And it's such a powerful scene in the
It is.
piggyback when she like uses the power to like, freeze him and slowly turn him around, and they lock eyes and right away, you. And that scene in part 3 when the worm
I think I
locks eyes
DM'd
with
you. I was
Nancy,
like, oh my God.
it's the same scene. Yeah. And just right away, the realization on Nancy's face when she goes, oh my God. Like,
Run.
it's just these two villains, it's like you said, a mirror scene where they see the person that like originally defeated them. And it's just such goosebumps, it's just so fucking fitting. And just like I said, I really always appreciate when a character actor can, with practical effects, prosthetics, and I know there was a little bit of digital with the moving vines, but the fact that Jamie basically transformed into Vecna, just like how Robert transformed into Freddy, I really got to give props, because there's so much like what he did with his voice naturally, the expressions in his eyes, like such well done acting.
Yeah, the whole Elle being able to go piggyback into like people's minds was like very much like Kristen being able to like pull
Correct. Yes.
Nancy into her dreams. And I'm like wondering, when they did the whole group hypnosis to kind of like try to go all in together, like I could see maybe something like that happening in season 5 where they all have to
That
kind
would
of like
be amazing.
go in together to like be able to defeat the monster
It's-
or Vecna
in my
or whatever.
opinion, it's going to come down to everyone. Again,
Yeah.
I mean, but even season 4 did that. You have them in Russia, you have them fighting on one end and weakening him in one state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you have her kind of going in to Max. So you do have them in tandem kind of fighting in different elements. But I'm hoping in the next season we'll see it a little more literally.
Yeah.
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 Well, and I guess we didn't talk about in part 2 him kind of like possessing
Yes.
Jesse was
Yep.
like very much like Billy being possessed.
Yes.
So that was another thing that made it very like season 3 coded.
And
for
him
me.
fighting it in the end
Yeah.
at the Battle of Starcourt.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
like and
so
him being
good.
able to like fight that.
It's Jesse the
Yeah.
whole time is just fighting it.
Right. Exactly.
Well, like Jason and like the basketball team taking the law into their own hands. The parents of Elm Street taking
Yes.
the law into their
Yes.
own hands. Like,
There's a lot.
Oh, I thought that the girl that was with the mohawk and everything, that she was very like Lost Sister coded, like
She looked
the
like she
punk.
belonged in that group.
Yeah, like she could have like been on the Lost Sister. And I want to rewatch it because when she said like let's dance, like that was very familiar to me, and I'm wondering if like somebody in
Well,
Lost Sister
Elle-
has that line.
Elle makes that character dance because he like Kali makes it like spiders are all over him,
Yeah.
and she's like funny man that dances. You know, that episode sucks.
You hate that episode.
I'm going to rewatch season 2 because I very recently did rewatch season 1 before our pilgrimage to Hawkins.
I would go back in a heart because I'm a filming location gal, and I would love to visit Georgia again in the fall because I felt like that was the perfect temperature. I think if I went in the summer, I'd drop dead.
Oh, yeah. If
Yeah,
it's not the heat, it's the
you're like, no,
humidity.
Stacey, you will
Yeah.
drop dead. But like it, and I know like obviously the seasons are different, but I would love to go back there because like even their houses kind of
Right.
reminded me a little bit of a Nightmare on Elm Street. The houses there and stuff, you know. But no, I will eventually, Megan, show you part 4. It's personally my favorite. I was telling her that's like the MTV version of it. They, like I said, best death of it, great soundtrack, but there's this really great scene.
That's not Dream World, that's Dream Masters.
Dream Master. And there's this great scene where the lead girl like suits up almost, getting ready to fight Freddy. And it just reminds, it's just such a badass scene. It's almost like when they suit up after going to the war zone and stuff to fight Vecna. It's very, very cool like that. But you can tell the Duffer Brothers, they were like us. They grew up watching these movies. They probably rented them and they took inspiration like they did with the Spielberg movies, with the Stephen King novels. And I'm really excited to see what else we're going to notice with the 5th season.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
So the death at the end of part 3,
Yes.
Nancy?
I did not. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like not okay with that. That was like the worst.
She's my favorite final girl. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Hence
Just-
the
she
tattoo.
I was
wasn't
there
that-
so much.
I was like, she wasn't supposed to die. And now I'm just like literally sitting here thinking about Stranger Things. And I'm like, I feel like nobody talks about Nancy potentially dying. And like, what if they did that? Like,
Well,
I feel like I've never really seen her on anybody's like radar for like being a death in season
Are
5. But
you-
like,
It'd be shocking.
partaking in the death pool.
no, I feel like I can't.
Oh, we're doing a death
We're doing
pool.
a
I
death
can't.
pool.
I
Even
can't
my brother's
because-
gonna do the death pool.
That's what I was going to say, though. For one, I'm like, what if they did that and it was like a callback to Elm
Correct.
Street?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I said during her funeral, everybody should have worn bright blue dresses.
That dress was
Yeah.
very like Golden Girls.
But
the
the
dress she wore to the
first,
funeral. Oh my god.
but the
Good for her. She goes, what if she didn't wear any black dresses? And I'm like, it's called JCPenney, Megan. Like,
the first movie, though, when it ends and like all of them are alive again, which I guess like in part
you
3
fucking creamed yourself. You want, it's just like what I want to happen.
that's what I want to happen in Stranger Things for like everybody to just be everybody who died like to be alive again. So I was
Okay,
like,
so
see, that's what happened.
zero
but
chance
then
that's gonna happen.
We
yeah,
live in
because
Never Never Land.
the
Just-
third movie,
Just putting it out there.
the third movie kind of like debunked the fact that that was actually even what happened, because
I love
Nancy
that you
was
went,
like,
so they really all died? And I went, yeah,
Yeah.
they really all died.
That's like Radio Flyer. No, they didn't fly off into the sunset with that.
Radio flyer.
You know what I'm talking about
Oh,
with
I
their
know.
little wagon? No, they're dead. They're not sending their parents.
I don't really
postcards.
care what happens at the end. I can live in my fantasy world and
Her
decide
coconut
what
fantasy
happens.
world. Everyone's happy.
But also, like, Stacey witnessed my brain like making
Oh,
so
big
many
time.
connections and figuring things out like way before you're supposed to figure them out.
Immediately with the fucking nun. She goes, that's Amanda Kruger.
I was
Spoiler
like,
alert,
that's
everyone.
his dad. Or
And then
that's
she
his
goes,
mom.
This killed me when she goes, when you find out the backstory, she goes, oh yeah, because I'm sure they were all the father. And I go, well, I'm sorry, son of 100 maniacs sounds better than son of a maniac. But she right away went, that's Freddie's mom. And I went, figured it out instantly. And then right away she goes, I bet you Nancy's dad's going to come up, which that you said that bar reminded you of the Hideaway a little bit.
Yeah, or the Hideout or whatever one that we actually
Whatever
see
the
in
fuck they
Stranger
call
Things.
it, yeah.
But yeah, and it was like so funny because I think Stacey had told me that Nancy comes back in part 3, but she hadn't come back yet. And I was like, wait, Stacey, I thought you said Nancy was coming back. And then literally
Just
the
like
next
that.
frame, there's Nancy standing at the door.
I'm like,
Nice.
speak of the devil.
Yeah, it was crazy. But
She died
Brandy-
during the skeleton scene, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
when
we
we're
were
lighting
like-
him in the
In the
First of all,
junkyard.
that's amazing.
Yep.
It's one of
That
my
was
favorites.
fantastic.
His little
Yeah.
victory dance with the
Yeah,
crowbar.
he cheers. Yep.
Brandy, have you watched Pretty Little Liars?
Oh yes, the whole thing.
So,
And Ravenswood, which I was pissed was canceled.
oh yeah, I tried to watch that too. Like I think I've seen all of it and all of Ravenswood, but like I was watching part 3 and like seeing a lot of like Pretty Little Liars connections because I feel like weren't they in like a mental hospital and like it was like teenagers and then there was like a whole like
But not
Kid,
all of
like,
them.
no, but like somebody was. There was I
Yeah,
can't
one of
remember all
them,
of the
maybe.
details,
Yeah.
but it was like similar. I feel like they got like, inspiration from like horror and stuff too for that show.
Yeah.
And I've never really seen any of these movies, so I was just like noticing that connection because I feel like there was a storyline with like someone committing suicide in a mental hospital and how they weren't sure if it was like
Yeah, I think it was Janelle Parrish's character, Mona. I
Yeah.
think. Don't quote me.
yes.
It's been a while
Yeah.
since I've seen that.
She brought that up to me, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Meanwhile, I'm like, how did they think that Jennifer committed suicide? Did she run and jump and smash her head in the
That is
TV?
the most ridiculous plot line of the entire series.
I just love
Like,
his
she
little
could get up there
antennas.
and cried.
No, the fact that I hated those doctors too. Like I hated like all the adults.
She hated Neil. She was like, this
I
man
didn't
is
like
almost
Neil.
40. When is he going to die? And I'm like, he's a good guy.
And
And
as
she's
a
like,
love interest for Nancy, no,
well,
sir.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
It
went
was a little
from a
inappropriate.
steak dinner
That
to a
woman is
Whopper.
gorgeous. Absolutely not.
Like I wanted him to die and not Nancy's dad. Like
True.
I was pissed that like Nancy's dad died instead of this stupid Neil. And then Nancy died. Like that
She
I'm
was
not
so
over
upset.
that.
Yeah. So upset.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of the little tiny house that Kirsten's making out of the paper mache.
Yes.
That
And-
Stacey apparently has made.
I made
have
and then
one.
and I sold it. Yes,
my
you
girl
do.
one. You
Yep.
have it signed by Robert.
Look at you, girl.
Mhm, it's on the
I
back, you just
literally
can't see it.
I thought of the 3D Creel House puzzle. So Rachel
Mm.
like made hers in a day. I suck at puzzles. I bought it at the beginning of the summer and I'm like, I'm going to work on it every day for an hour. I'm going to do it. Back in August, she goes, how far did you get? And I made the base of it. And that's it. And the base is like 4 pieces linked together and that's it. And she goes, that's it? And I go, yeah. Like literally when you guys visit, I have it on top of a cabinet because I'm like, I can't look at it. I just can't look at it.
Yeah,
I
but that was
I hate puzzles.
that was very that house was like the exact same as the Creel house for sure.
Right? All the boarded up things and like
Yeah.
especially the scene where like you see it almost like sounds like a Nightmare on Elm Street music cue when right away like Steve looks up at it and he goes, well, that's creepy, or that's not creepy at all. It always reminds me of in part 4 when they come up and right away they're looking at the house and like the Kirsten character got recast with Tuesday Night and she's like yeah, what the fuck? I love you, Tuesday, but what the fuck? Patricia Arquette was pregnant. She could not come back.
She was busy. Yeah.
She was busy having babies. And she literally is like, there's this iconic scene where, like, spoiler alert, her mother betrays her by basically drugging her lemonade. And she's like, you're going to get some sleep. And the original mom comes back, which always kills me. But it reminds me of Nancy's mom, who's drunk as a fucking skunk and bars up all the windows, which literally I told her, I go, as soon as I saw the bars on the window, I would track down a screwdriver and I would undo the bars in my window. And then I saw the trellis down and I went, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they had knocked the trellis down. Okay, I remembered a couple more things while you were talking.
Go for it.
So the one when they were like in that place and it was all red, like it was very much like Vecna's like
His
mind
boiler
lair,
room. Yep.
like in the boiler room when it was just like they were having that final fight and it was all red. But what was What was the chimes? Like the clock chimes. Which one
You
was
hear
that?
a lot of chimes in part 1 and part 3, and it sounds like the Vecna chimes. It's part of the music score, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, it was very obvious in like at one point, and it was like the
So
clock
there's
was
a
like
shot in
chiming.
the house in part 3, Brady, you know what I'm talking about, when Kirsten like looks over her headboard, you see the kids jump roping,
Right.
and you hear the chim,
Yes.
like you hear the chime. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Megan.
Yeah, and I thought it was like when somebody was about to die too.
I'm
but-
sure.
It was the part. It was clock chimes when all of the locks were going. Like I forget what it was when.
Locks.
It might have been part 2. It might have been the second movie, and they're trying to get out of the house, but but all of the locks are turning and like locking them in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
that's
then
part
they
2.
can't get out.
That's
that
part
was the
2.
second movie. But
You
that
heard
was
a clock chime. Yeah.
the clock was chiming, and all of the locks were turning on their own, which is very like Vecna, like season 1.
That's
like,
true. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
girl. Meanwhile, I'm like, they never cut the cake.
Also, I just was like infuriated every time like they asked someone to like watch over them and then the other person fell asleep. I was like, oh my gosh, can you not rely on your friends? Like you can't rely on anyone is basically the takeaway from that.
Yeah. Basically.
That was like just that kept happening like with so many different characters throughout the whole like 3 movies.
Well, I always think in like episode 7, The Massacre at Hawkins High, like they have been up a full 24 hours. First, the teens get stuck in the upside down. The kids have to help them out and stuff. Like, unless they all took a power nap at Max's,
None of them are
Steve-
eating. None of them are going to the bathroom. None of them are
Steve-
sleeping.
he was operating a Winnebago. How did he not like maul over a bunch of residents? Like, I would have that would have been Stacy operating a vehicle after 4 days of no sleep.
Well, even Erica keeping watch outside the Creole house is like Glenn and everyone else keeping watch.
True. And I
While
always think of that.
Everyone else is sleeping. Yeah.
There's this iconic scene. You know what I'm talking about? It is a rocket ship, right?
at
in
the
part
at the are you talking about
playground?
Erica at the playground?
Yeah, the playground.
That in part 7.
In part 7, there's
With Nico
literally.
Hughes at the top of it.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
you
I
haven't
just thought
seen
of
that
that.
yet. But it's very and
It's
you'll,
good.
You'll notice it.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Definitely lots of connections.
And then there's obviously Caleb confirming that it is based off Nightmare on Elm Street because I've
Yeah.
had that conversation with him at my meet and greet.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
Even he knows, though he hasn't seen the movie.
I'm like,
You asked him
Caleb.
if he had seen him.
Yes,
it?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, because he was talking about DC and Marvel and my favorite superhero movies, and I don't have any because that's not my jam.
Johnny
Yeah.
Storm.
But then he asked me what I watched, and I said predominantly horror movies, and he asked me what my favorite one was, and I said A Nightmare on Elm Street. And then he said he hadn't seen it. And I said, well, you know that Stranger Things, a lot of it is based off of that. And he was like, yeah, I know. I really have to watch it. I'm like, yeah,
That's
you do.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your homework, son.
Yeah. To be like literally in a TV show that has so much that's pulled from that like franchise.
Yeah, there's a lot of Poltergeist.
and
There's a
to
lot. In the
never
new
see
season,
it,
there's
yeah.
going to be a lot of Poltergeist in season 5.
Yeah.
I
That's
think there's going to
coming.
be more of this too. Like,
There is.
It'll probably be a mashup of like both, you know?
Yeah.
I can't wait. I
I
cannot
need
wait.
like the Duffer Brothers to tell me what other like 5 horror movies I need to watch before season 5.
Well,
Have
if
you
you
seen
can name all of
Poltergeist? You
them.
need to do that. And you need to do 2 and 3 of Poltergeist too.
I've only seen
Not
the
just
first,
the first
one,
one.
but yeah.
Oh my god, they're so good.
And
Yeah.
there's so many. You'll notice a lot with Vecna and Jamie upcoming in the new season regarding Poltergeist 2 and 3.
Yep.
Right.
you called it.
Okay. We've talked about that a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
put that on your
Movie
list.
marathon. Oh, I'm going to be insufferable watching those movies with. Get ready.
Maybe I'll have to watch them by myself.
Absolutely not. There's a worm in it that looks like you know what. So get ready.
That's just your favorite part. So what was Stacy's favorite part was when what was it, Stacy?
Okay. When Kincaid goes, Kruger, pussy.
We were
He's
supposed to yell
talking.
Kruger pussy together at
Kruger,
some
pussy.
point.
And he doesn't say pussy, he says pussy.
Yeah.
Hey!
Pussy.
Yeah. What was your favorite scene, Megan, than Brandy?
Is it of a certain one or
No,
It could be anyone.
my favorite part was when he was like, what did he say? I'm
Help
forgetting it now.
yourself,
Help
fucker.
yourself, fuckers.
one of my favorite things to say, and I'm sure it's just a blip in the movie and nobody cares about it, but I always say to Andy, "Swish, killed a fish." From part
That's
4
from
when
part
he fucking like, his shoe goes in the fish tank.
Oh,
You must have
no.
balance. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Yep,
Swish,
her
killed a
shoe.
fish.
She had the coolest bedroom.
And Andy says he's inside me or
He's
whatever.
All the
inside
time.
me.
But he screams it, which is like, you can't just say it. You have to, you have to mean it.
Oh, this was such a good chat.
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked the movies. I'm glad I watched them, guys.
Hell yeah.
We'll see what I can handle next.
I know. Get ready.
Well, I feel like you need to watch the rest of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do like one at a time over the next couple months or something.
Yeah.
Well, you don't
Yeah.
have much time.
I was doing
I
a
know.
shit job trying to explain New Nightmare. I'm like it's like meta. Like
And you can't
kinda
not.
got
I
it.
mean, you could skip from 3
5
to...
and 6.
I
I know you
could
like
go
them.
from 3 to 7. You could.
You could, but
And you're
4,
not
that
gonna
death.
I wouldn't recommend it.
4
You
is
could skip
good.
6.
6 is
Well,
a piece of shit.
Stacey wanted me to skip 2, and I'm glad I didn't skip 2. So,
No, that's just funny.
yeah, it was entertaining.
I said I was going to bring the board game Probe next time I come and visit and just not say anything and just lay it down on the table. You're welcome,
Oh,
everyone.
Because the shower scene, that was another thing. I'm like, oh, we're not going to get a shower scene. And you were like, just wait.
Just you wait.
Because when he tells the boys to like hit the showers and then you cut to them just like in the locker room. And I was like, thought we were going to actually get a shower scene. And Stacey's like,
You did a
"Oh."
lot more than what you asked for.
So that was funny.
Woo!
The wet towel had me dead. I was like,
Yeah.
no. And then wasn't there jump ropes involved?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
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 Was that what like bound his wrists?
Yeah,
I think
that's-
so.
That's what
There
was.
is a whole sequent documentary aside
Yep.
from Never Sleep Again about part 2 in particular
Scream Queen.
that you should watch. Scream Queen. Yeah. It's very good.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because the other like really heartbreaking death in the first one was the boyfriend. Like the
You were very upset by Rod dying.
Yeah, I was upset by that. That was upsetting to me. Like the sheets like wrapping around his neck and then
Like,
making it
right
look
away,
he
I'm
hung
like,
himself.
I'm like, look at the priest. He's kind of sexy. Who
Yeah, and
comes
I'm like,
back for
no,
part 3.
this priest is an asshole. He's saying that Rod was a murderer and killed himself. Like, I was like so pissed off about
Yeah, she
it.
wasn't having any of my bullshit.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I was like, oh man,
You were so disturbed by Nancy's mom keeping the glove, too. You were like,
Yeah.
why would you keep that? And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I was like, I bet you his skeleton smelled. And she like, of course, thinking like a logical person, she's like, after that many years, I doubt it would smell. And I'm like, I doubt it would smell good. Like
It should
It's
smell
just
burnt.
dust. Yeah.
Freddie charcoal bones. That should be a candle.
Hmm.
New line.
Interesting.
Hire me for marketing.
No, but kind of like to go with what you were saying about like the storyline of the parents killing him and everything. I do think it would make more sense for the parents to like hunt him down and kill him if he had killed some of their children.
I
Like-
don't know why they left that out.
Yeah, that kind of like I would have gotten it more, I think, if that had been the case. But then I guess in part 3, technically all of those kids were supposed to be the last remaining children of
You were the
the
last of the Elm Street.
parents that like killed him,
Because
which
it
was
wasn't
interesting.
really about, it was molestation.
Yeah.
You should watch. It's a
That's
fan.
why.
It's a
Yeah.
fan made film. It's called The Confession of Fred Krueger. And it's basically right after they arrest him. And they stick to that canon storyline that the siblings were all murdered. And it's a bit like told in flashbacks and stuff. Very well done. Very well done.
Interesting. I just love how this is like basically like a cultural phenomenon, and I had never like seen it.
You're just dipping your toes in. Yep.
You should
Super
also
interesting.
watch, while not, I mean, it's debatable where it fits in the franchise, but there's also Freddy vs. Jason, which again is what you think it is. I mean, there's no way around that. But there is some canon in there.
Jason is
go into Hypnosil. That there is some
Okay.
background in there.
Do you go back
Jason
to
is
Western
Friday
Hills?
the 13th.
Yes.
So I feel like I would have to watch that first too.
There's like a million fucking movies.
And none of them matter.
None of them matter.
None of them
Just
matter.
Keep making shit up. Yeah.
But the first
Yeah.
one is the first one like the best?
Watch the first one. That way you at least understand the canon of how Freddy
Where he
and
came
Jason
from.
interact.
The best ones are 1 through 4.
Gotcha.
In my
And then
opinion, the best are none.
I know she hates them.
So you hate the Friday the 13th?
She hates
movies.
them. Oh my god. Part 8. It's Jason Takes Manhattan, but the whole movie takes place on a fucking boat.
Does he
So-
wear the ski mask?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The hockey mask.
Hockey mask. Yes.
Ski mask. Jesus. It's when he gets cold.
What's the mask that Eddie wears in season 4?
Oh, Michael Myers.
Separate.
What's Michael
franchise.
Myers from?
Halloween.
Michael Myers.
Oh,
She is adorable. I cannot right now.
guys, I'm not a horror girl.
Oh, word.
Bitch. Oh, October.
You don't know like what a big feat this was that I watched these movies.
Like, I know you have a lot of concerts coming up, girl, but I don't even care if it's a work night. We're going to have some movie marathons.
And this is
And-
back when they made movies that were an hour and a half, so you're good.
yeah, they're not very
yeah.
long, which is
Right.
fantastic. Like we totally watched 2 movies last night with no problem.
Oh,
so,
yeah, we were good.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Me just cracking jokes, tooting.
yeah. This is how you're gonna get me into horror, by just like I'll buy a bottle of wine and have Stacy cracking
yeah.
jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
So we're Hellraiser.
Oh, fucking Hellraiser. Girl, she was
Can I
dying.
be there
'cause-
for that one?
please. So literally, I was telling her how as a child I was terrified of Freddy. A family friend showed it to me. And I was like, Tony, her way of parenting was very unique. And she was like, no, I'm going to make sure you're not scared of him. So she got me like the Matchbox pull string doll and the board game. And Megan's like horrified. She went, but you were scared of him. And I was like, yeah, but my mom liked the movie. So she was like, stop being a pussy. Like, get into them. And I did get into them. Like, they're very, very well done. And I think I was able to appreciate this darkest season yet, season 4, because right away I'm like, that's Robert Englund. That reminds me of 1428 Elm Street. That's literally Tina's death. It's just so cool, you know? And I
Yeah.
love a good visual scene. I think Chrissy's death, especially on the ceiling, right away I was like, yeah, Tina's death. That right away, like,
Doesn't
hits,
the news
you know?
reporter die in a grave just like the doctor in season 3?
Oh, so the doctor falls into the remember the grave, and Freddy's skeleton's a little dipshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't the
throws a little
second
bit-
death from season
Yeah, but
4?
he doesn't. The doctor doesn't die though. Does he?
he doesn't die,
No, you're
but
right, he doesn't.
Fred falls backwards into a grave, though.
Right.
So,
And so does the doctor.
yep.
Yeah,
I
pretty
love that
sure.
he threw a little bit of dirt like on him, and then he goes,
Like,
ah!
You getting the doll of Freddy reminds me of like the little marionette thing in the 3rd movie, which was like my least favorite part. That was
She did not
That's
like
like
that.
didn't
one
like
of my
that.
favorite deaths.
She goes, he's cute. And I'm like, and I love how each time they did group after another death, the circle just got smaller and smaller.
yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? These 2 pricks that just died, they probably had the best dream powers out of all of us. We all suck. Like,
yeah.
you're
yeah.
the wizard master? What the fuck is that? Yeah.
I thought the Wizard Master was gonna make it. I was a little bummed. It is what it is.
Critter, pussy!
He's like, pussy.
Pussy!
Is there
Oh,
something with the
Jesus.
mirrors too?
Yeah, they
You
they're
found your
in-
dream power, man.
they're in like the hall and like all the mirrors break and Freddy's like in all of the mirrors so he can like
Right.
pull
right.
them all into a mirror. And then that's when
Joey.
the mute kid Joey
Yes,
well,
name.
I love
Max
Joey.
is also in a coma and mute.
Yeah. That's what we talked about.
Oh.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
Like Joey being in a coma was
Right.
similar to Max's coma. Yeah.
Come get him, bitch.
Could you imagine
I
right
love
away
that's one of my favorites. I always wanted that as a tattoo, like on my chest.
how? First of all, if I was Nancy, I would like slowly stand up and be like, "I didn't do that to him."
She's like, let him go, you bastard.
When it cuts back to her, I go, "Aren't you unemployed? Didn't you get fired? Why are you sitting alone with him?" But I cracked such a good joke, and she was done with my bullshit by then. But it's right after Sims and the head doctor is like, "You're both, fired." And Nancy looks at Neil and goes, "What are we gonna do?" And I went, "Well, we're gonna have to sign up for unemployment." Fucking silence.
Immediately.
Silence from the other side of the phone call. I was like, I thought that was pretty good.
I was trying to focus on the movie, Stacey.
Oh yeah, I was fucking bad. But and then right away I go, full transparency, I go, "Brandy loves part 5." And she goes, "Yeah?" And I go, Brandy's unapologetic. One time she showed up to my house wearing a Halloween 5 shirt. And
I'm so mad I'm not wearing it right now.
I looked her up and down and I went, "Yeah, part 5. And Brandy, like, she didn't even take a breath. And she just motions to my wall and she goes, "Amityville 1992? Which entry is that, Stacey? 6 or 7? I have never been fucking schooled faster in my life. I went,
I was like, them are big words from someone who watched The Conjuring.
yeah, you literally went Waxwork 2 Lost in Time, Stacey. And I was like, holy
That movie's
shit.
fabulous.
I love that movie.
Me too.
Shout out Galligan.
Yep. He's so
but-
thrilled. You know he's listening.
He is. Love you, Galligan. So, anyways, but in closing, Brandy, you're probably, like I said, the biggest Elm Street fan that I know. These
My
films
very
have
first
always
fandom.
right, like, and I
I
just
was
remember
probably
they were.
6.
That's the thing. Like, you always have that memory of renting those movies or first being shown those movies. And we probably saw them far too young, but they were probably, and I remember talking about this with you. I said, back when I had my horror collection, my biggest collection was Elm Street. I still have a Mondo poster of the original, and I just have so many great memories meeting the cast at conventions. I
They're
love having
lovely.
marathons of them. And it's just, I would say the reason why I prefer them over the Friday the 13th, over the Halloweens and Texas Chainsaw Massacres, is because visually they are the most pleasing because
I
in
agree.
dreams, anything can happen. So
Right.
they can get really creative with these scenes. They can get really creative going into the minds of these characters. And I think that's why I really prefer season 4 of Stranger Things, because basically, Vecna is preying on their worst fears, which is kind
Yeah.
of something that Freddy does.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like in their mind, so it doesn't have to be realistic.
Yep.
So yeah, that's really cool.
They're
Can't
just
wait for season
using
5.
going into one of the openings to the underground as falling asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Essentially all that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for joining us. It was super fun.
Well, thank you. I had a ton of fun.
Who that pussy?
All right, Stacey, I think you had some merch you wanted to talk about.
I did. So first of all, big shout out to our friends Eli and Rachel. I got some amazing birthday packages, beyond generous, beyond nice. First of all, Eli got me these really cool, like, squishy things. They're called, like, Squish Boss.
They're so
And
cute.
They
They
were
are really
adorable.
adorable.
So cute.
I didn't even
I
know
gotta
that they were.
ask them where they got them so that I can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't
they're
even know
adorable.
where they were available. I want to say maybe Box Lunch, but they got me basically
Ugh,
all
I
the
always
characters.
forget about box lunch.
Box Lunch can be pricey, but at the same
They
time,
can.
some
That's
of
why
their
I forget
stuff.
about them.
Exactly. Some of their stuff is pretty cool. But they also sent me these adorable things. They're called Bum. Buzz,
Yeah, I saw them
and
on Amazon.
They're almost like these little
Yeah.
beanbag things. And I'm right now holding up the radio station WSKQ QK, and The Squawk, which I think we all know. I called it.
Yeah, you totally did.
But it's where Steve and Robin are going to be working as radio DJs. So I think the van is going to be an iconic car.
You said you think that's going to be a big deal. That's how they're going to hear them in other dimensions.
That's what I'm thinking. I think the radio station
Radio
is going to be a huge, like, hangout and also a huge location, which is cool, too, because we're probably going to get some really good songs.
Yeah, and I mean, the radio has been like a thing since season 1. It was really big in season 3. So that makes sense that now it's like a radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there were all these jokes that, like, oh, Steve and Robin might be bartenders. Well, age-wise, that wouldn't really work out. But
no,
also,
it would not.
I went DJs.
Kids can't go there.
Yeah, exactly. DJs are actually perfect, you know? So I cannot wait for that. I know that Hot Wheels, they are going to be releasing Steve's with the sunroof. BMW. And just the artwork already, I am obsessed with.
Did you, lose one of your lives when you saw Stroked Out?
Girl, literally, I went.
It's burgundy, right?
It's burgundy.
Okay, I'm just sometimes Vic confuses things, and I just always hear about his car being burgundy.
Guys, burgundy is literally my favorite color. Headband. I love burgundy and I am obsessed with that car. Like, if vintage fucking Beamers weren't so much money, I would buy one and try to fix it up and probably go broke doing so. But I love that they are releasing his car, and I think the car is going to have a glorious moment to shine. So I cannot wait for that. But Rachel got me because she must have listened to our fashion episode where I was saying how much I wish I had gotten the Target exclusive box set of the roast beef shirt, and she got me Dustin's roast beef shirt. I am so happy.
I love
that.
I am definitely going to have to rock it. I know our friend Tracy, she saw some leaked images of some possible merch that might be hitting Walmart. So pretty excited about
Tracy?
that. She is amazing. We're going to have her on in the future. Not only are her theories amazing, but she does really cool deep dives, and she's always on the prowl for like really cool merch, and she keeps her eyes open. So I'm really excited, and I know I mentioned it last episode, Five Below is bursting from the seams.
Yes, I got some of that, and I'm gonna go today. I'm going after to get whatever, and if you guys, separately, just let me know.
Yeah,
what
please
you guys
keep us
need because
updated.
I'll be on my way. I got the pillows.
I heard there's pillows, blankets, there's hats. Like, I think this is just the beginning, and it's very overwhelming. I think once the pop start
hitting, need a PowerPoint presentation to keep up, especially with the food.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't keep track of it, and also,
Neither.
but like
my brain hurts.
Now I feel like the Squishmallows though are like what I need to get ASAP because I have all of the existing Squishmallows, so I have to like keep getting the Squishmallows. But those little cute stuffed animal thingies, those
adorable.
I love those too. So
yeah, our friend Cinco showed, I don't know if they're available yet, but there are 4 new Squishmallows. One is Dustin and stuff.
I haven't
One is
seen
like a Hellfire
those.
Bat. They said they're available at Five
Hellfire
Below.
Bat.
Yeah. So keep your eyes open, guys. But I cannot wait. I'm a big collector. I know you are, Brandy, as well. Megan, you've been dipping your toes in. Very, very excited to see what else there is on the shelves. Brandy, you want to talk about how much money you spent at CVS?
Oh, my God.
Did you get the CoverGirl makeup?
My shame.
I want it. It all looks so good.
So I spent a stupid amount of money. I spent $130.
Makeup is expensive. I spent
this is
when I was
girl.
Yeah,
this should not have.
But
should
still,
not have been this much.
Yeah,
I did get a lot though.
Yeah,
you did.
I got almost. I think maybe I'm missing one nail polish. I got it.
That's
all.
pretty good, dude. Yeah.
And I had some deals, and they were running some promo like buy one get the other 50% off or something. But yes, I couldn't.
But
I was standing in front of it, and I couldn't help myself, and there were no price tags on anything, and I just grabbed everything.
That's how they get you. Yep, you black
and then
out,
when
and then you're like,
bringing it up, I was like, oh my God.
yeah.
Damn.
And as like the new promos are coming out, I'm like telling Stacy, like, I'm still not over the CoverGirl thing. I'm not prepared. Just
deep
breaths. Let me know about this later when I've emotionally gotten over the fact that I did.
True.
I won't get the nail polish because I don't paint my nails, but the palette and the blushes and the lip glosses.
But they have an Eddie nail polish. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And then there's a beautiful hot pink one, which I'm actually going to use.
Yeah, I can see you rocking that.
I don't paint my own nails though. Could I take it to the nail salon and be like,
yours?
Use this?
I'll see you at the end of the month.
That's true.
I have nubs for nails. Look, there's no nails. I trim them so short. And literally, I'm like, I need to buy nail. That'll be on the Patreon.
It's
Me
for
like
a
giving
display.
myself a
But
manicure.
that's the thing. The nail polish you can
Just
can
display
use,
it.
and
yeah.
then everything else, you got to break the seal.
Yeah.
The nail polish, you don't.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's
true.
why I'm probably going to use the nail polish because I kind of like to keep the packaging intact if I can.
That's true. Yeah, that's smart.
That's
Yeah.
the collector. You know,
Yeah.
it's not worth as much once kind of the seal's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So,
I want to use the makeup though. It looks fun.
Hell yeah.
just yeah. When I went there, I mean, I cleaned that poor display had like 3 pieces left on it.
Yeah,
I know.
I bet.
I almost asked for the display, but then I was like, Quinn's gonna pee on it, so I resisted.
It looks
I'm
pretty cool.
Constantly at the movie theater asking them, like I asked for the Quiet Place stuff, I asked for Fantastic Four, and they always look at me like, no.
Are you high? Yeah.
No. And the one lady even went as far to tell me that's the perks we get for working here. And I was like,
I know,
well,
and I'm like, calm
one of the
down,
perks
Queen.
you could get would be getting it and selling it to me.
Thank you.
Exactly. Can I slip you my phone number?
My God,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
hello.
make money. The
Yeah.
economy's rough.
I guess that's your second job you need to apply for, Brandy.
I know. I really do.
Work at the movie theater just for the posters and displays.
Fuck yeah.
Well, JQ doesn't have any more movies coming out. I mean,
That's
not
true.
right now.
Good
who
for
knows
him.
what's
Take a
going on
little
with
break.
Avengers while Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds kill each other.
Team
guess-
Robert
What about
Downey.
the Beatles
too.
movie?
There's 4 of that.
Blackbird.
I don't think that's going to be like a normal movie where, you know, he films it and the next year it comes out.
Yeah.
I think there's 4. I think it's going to be like an ongoing thing. And I don't know how
Gotcha.
they're going to release them and in what order.
Yeah, I'm super curious about that for sure.
Yeah. Or if it's going to be like not a theater thing and
Maybe
And
a
I-
TV.
I heard
yeah.
straight to Hulu, but I could be talking on my
good.
ass.
Hulu's my favorite.
Right?
Yeah.
I love Hulu.
All right. Well, we're not
This
doing a
was fun.
secret segment because
Again, our
um,
fans are going to be so
I know
pissed.
our steady fans are going to be real mad, but soon,
Well,
guys.
find them some NOES steady smut. Just got it.
Yes.
It has to.
It's got to
exist.
exist. There's
I
fan
mean, yeah,
art.
Fan art. It's got to exist.
Thanks again, Brandy, for being on. Make sure that you all follow us on social media at Skull Rock Broadcast. I'm at Steady Stories. Stacy is at Stay Still Reviews, and Brandy is Days in the Phoenix.
Yep, that's me.
Did I get it right?
You did.
That you.
And like Stacy said, we might have some more fun stuff on the Patreon soon. We'll
I'll
see.
get ready. I'm going to be trying out candy.
But this was fun. Help yourself, fuckers.
Exactly.
Over and out.
Over and out.